Welcome, guys. This is the Road to Competitive Madden Player Show. Here, I'm going to be working with one of my guys here, Winton. He's been in the Masters program for 3 to 4 months now. He's been here since the start, one of the OGs. And I'm going to be doing a live coaching session today. And Winton, man, I'm glad to have you on. And kind of talk me through, where were you kind of at before the Madden Academy with your game?
Yeah, so before I started, I was just kind of playing. I wasn't really too knowledgeable as far as like strategy and gameplay. I would just kind of go out there. I would jump around, select different plays to try and figure out what works for me. I would play online. I'd have some success with it, but there would be times where I just get, totally whipped on because, I just didn't really know what I was doing compared to a lot of guys who obviously play all the time. That's kind of where I was. I wanted to really step my Madden game up a little bit because, I like to play Madden. I like the strategy of, playing Madden and playing football. I had been playing solely 2K for years. That was like my primary game. Madden was kind of secondary, but I started playing against friends and stuff, and, I was kind of struggling to keep up with them, but I really just wanted to elevate my Madden knowledge, you know, as far as terminology and strategy. So just doing Madden Academy just to kind of really step my game up and be able to better understand how to play and be able to at least be a little bit more competitive when I play online. As far as where I am now, I've definitely made some progress on the offensive end as far as being able to read and understand defense. Obviously, I have a ways to go, but at least since joining, I've gained a better understanding of utilizing pull routes, being able to really read the defense and understand what the defense is going to do pre-snap versus post-snap. Hopefully, continuing to work with you and continuing to learn from the fellas in the group and also just really just continuing to study the game. I'll be able to be a lot better on both ends of the ball, primarily defense. Obviously it's not great this season, but definitely want to improve on that front so that I can be a lot more competitive when I play online.
All right, Wayne. Now, kind of walk me through like your thought process here. So you're getting the ball here first on offense. What are you looking for? What are you thinking about here? What's kind of your goal in this first drive? What are you looking to do?
For me, it's really to set the tone. I definitely want to come out and set my formation, make sure I have my plays lined up, but I really just want to see what he's going to do, if he's, a good defensive player or, kind of what his strategy is, because I want to make sure that I'm efficient offensively. I want to make sure that I don't get caught up making bad reads and, really just kind of giving him the ball so that, he can, leverage and take advantage. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is really just seeing what he is doing on the defensive end.
Yeah, most definitely. And I always tell people like this first drive, it's really just a feel it out type of drive. This is the opportunity to utilize your best plays. You want to make sure that your opponent can stop your best stuff, your best setups, and if they can't
Right.
stop your best setups, then you want to keep piling it on them. Again, if your opponent isn't adjusting to you, there's no reason to overthink it and start to adjust. So, make your opponent
Right.
prove that you can stop, that they can stop your best.
Okay, so it seems like he's, obviously pretty aggressive, at least thus far from what I'm seeing. So, like on this play, I got pushed back 2 yards. So, um, depending on what coverage he's in, I'm gonna try and see. So it looks like he's in cover 2 or 4. Um,
Yeah. So on this first drive, try to take a couple shots here, see if you can beat him over the top. I like going to the crosser here. I like
yeah.
it. Again, vertical is one of the best plays in the game. So again, stick with your best plays here and see if he's going to be able to stop your best plays here. Don't overthink it here. So I would go back to here and
Got
see if
you.
he's able to adjust to it.
Okay. Ah,
I like it, and it looks like too here. Again, it looks like he's having some trouble here, stopping this play. And he's
Mm-hmm.
running a lot of stock coverage here. And one big thing is, again, you want to be checking your post snap reads. Also, again, he's not setting his zone drops here, so it might be worth taking a shot here and throwing across here.
Yes, I got that one.
Yep. Yeah, most definitely. And for
Oh,
someone to stop that, they're gonna have to utilize their zone drops. So it looks like this guy so far isn't utilizing zone drops.
oh, there we go. Got that one.
I like it.
Oh,
Oh, and that's just a perfect first drive, honestly. 5 for 5 here. And again, but the biggest thing is you want to be taking mental notes here of what the defense was doing here. So what was kind of your reads on what he was looking to do on that drive? What did he primarily do? Again, a lot of people won't even utilize zone drops. So start off hitting him with those crossers. See if they're gonna put up those 30-yard zone drops. And I like what you did here. Defensively, coming out with the. Or you can kind of explain the thought process. So I saw you were setting your zone drop. So what were you what were you looking to do there, and what was your reasoning for setting them to 25 and 5?
well, really, just to kind of take away the flats. The curl flats and the hooks are typically like I'm trying to stop like the underneath stuff. The flats, I'm really just trying to and I'm probably not wording this right, but just trying to stop like the sideline throws
Most
and really
definitely.
just like the deeper passes, so to
Yeah,
speak.
definitely.
So,
And yeah, like I preach a lot in the program too. It's you don't want to give up that big play on the first drive. So you want to set
right.
your flats. Yeah. So like you were doing, like you want to set your flats to 25, 30. Don't give up that big crossing route. You really want to make him work in this first drive. Make him utilize. Go on a 10, 15 play drive. Then for later in the game, you can kind of recall. Okay, oh, these are the plays he likes to call in this formation, or he likes to call that play in this situation. So
Okay. Now, see, on that one, I think that was just more like a bad read
yeah.
on his part. It could have been either way because I feel like y'all probably agree with this as well. Like this game is super like what you call it glitchy, where it's like a player throw it at you and you're literally right there. You can intercept it, but they don't. It goes right to them, and they got a pass for like 10 yards.
Yeah, most definitely. And you also saw like the benefits there of setting your zone drops as well. Again, you had those purples set to 5 there, which allowed that
Yeah,
purple to be in perfect position to play those drags. So again, if you're struggling to stop those drag routes, those underneath routes, again, make sure you're setting your zone drops, putting those curl flats on the 5.
right.
It's just here at the 11. So what's kind of your go-to plays in the red zone? What are you looking for?
It really just depends. I feel like the dig route works a lot.
Most definitely.
If
Yeah.
and I'll run the dig route in the event that he's stopping the run. But like him, it doesn't seem like he's really stopping the run all that well. So what I'm gonna do here is if I feel like hold on, let me see here. I just really read what he's giving me. Like if he's bringing pressure, then I'll try and scramble out. If not, then I'll try and hit Harvard for this little dig route right here.
Definitely.
So
And yeah, that's a phenomenal play setup right there, Winton. And again, like I preach in the programs, like those dig routes, those are the best routes in the red zone. I go over that a lot in the red zone course. Again, the reason why the dig routes are so good down the red zone is they do a great job of getting underneath of the deep blues, and they do a good job of getting over the top of the hooks. So that's really
yeah.
a primary route you want to have in the field down the red zone. You already got that stop again. 2 touchdowns score in your first 2 drives. So what's kind of your mindset here now that you're up 14 nothing?
Typically, when I play, I get in these situations where I feel like I don't want to do too much. I kind of want to maintain this lead. Usually, when guys get down, they'll either try and go for the big play,
100%.
or
Yeah.
it just really just depends. Yeah, a lot of times they try and get those points right back. So, like for me, I try and make sure that I at least get some defensive stops, even if I can't. Like this play right now, he's running it, which is odd, but I mean, to me, it just seems like he's just, I guess, trying to bait a little bit, like make it seem like he's just trying to get some yards when he's really trying to look for the big play. So
It's important to have those zone drops at the 25, 30, and making sure you're making somebody work here. Again, it's a bend but don't break. You're fine
right,
giving up these underneath drags and hitches, but again, don't allow them to throw that crosser, that big skinny post for a touchdown here. So definitely want to have those
yeah,
zone drops set deep. and allow them to attack underneath there. Yeah, and
Okay.
the reason why you want to change your zone drops around once they get close to the red zone is, again, usually when you have your flat zones on set to 25, it's to stop one of those crossing routes. But the crossing routes kind of naturally won't get as open down in the red zone because again, you're gonna have the back of the end zone as like an extra defender. So the deep
Right.
blues are gonna play a lot tighter on crossing
Yep.
routes on here. Perfect
Yes.
defense, perfect. See, and that's the huge benefit of having those hook
Yes.
zones set
Oh,
to
he
five.
quit.
Yeah,
Told you.
great
I
game.
told
Yeah,
you.
I figured that would
That's
happen.
lockdown
I
defense
figured that
right
would
there.
happen.
And the biggest piece of advice, I can give, and I like what you said there, where, we talk about this a lot, the big plays. So, again, if somebody is not setting their zone drops and not putting their flat zones on the 30, feel free to take those big crossing routes, take those big corner routes, force them to protect the deep portions of the field. Again, don't make it so hard on yourself. Again, if somebody's, just refusing to guard the deep portions of the field, go down there and score in 3 plays. Don't, there's just so much fluke that happens in man. You can get a strip sack fumble. People, the defensive line can come in, swat it down. So, anything can happen. So if they're allowing you to score quickly, go ahead and take that big crosser. Those big chunks. And like you said there, it came down a lot to the post snap reads. You recognizing that, hey, yeah, he wasn't setting his zone drops to 30, so he allowed you to throw those crossers deep, and you kept taking that. Again, you didn't overthink the game. Again, I think beforehand, like 3 months ago, again, you were like all over the place on offense, like going from formation to formation. I like now that you were super focused in, and you saw that, hey, he couldn't stop this play. He couldn't stop that deep crosser, and you kept going to it. And again, that's huge, is not overthinking it. And if they're not adjusting, you don't need to adjust either.
Yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. So, I will say that, definitely really just looking at the courses that you have up and, just really practicing them and just working with the fellas as far as getting in the lab and, practicing different strategies. That's definitely helped as well. I think the biggest thing is just getting reps and getting in and being able to play as much as you can just to keep working on these things because, obviously with anything, the more practice you put in, the better you get. So, I'm definitely making some progress. I got a ways to go, but at least I'm getting there.
Yeah, definitely.
And you also it's like you also learn from like your L's than you do from your W's because I feel like I don't know, especially with me, because like when you beat in the shot of someone, it's like it was like you're not really you feel like you're not really progressing, but like if you like especially a tough loss, maybe you lose by a field goal, you go back and watch the film like yo I could have did this better or maybe I should have blitzed them instead of setting the zone on man.
Yeah, most definitely. And I can say from experience as well. Like, I what I do is I record all of my games, go back and watch them, and I'll always watch the losses first because there's always people even at the pro level will say like, oh man, I know what I did wrong, but I'll go back and watch the game. And it's like, damn, there's always like small details like you might not pick up on in the game that you'll pick up on as you go through the film. So I'll say that's where a lot of my growth comes from is going back and really reevaluating after those losses and saying, man, where did I really go wrong and what can I do better for next time? So you're spot on with that.